News. I want to give an update now in the killing of the UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. A man who matches the description of the gunman has now been taken into custody in the state of Pennsylvania. Alexis McAdams has the update. Alexis.
Hey, Harris. Well, we never know exactly how quickly these things are going to move. All morning, I've been in Central Park as these dive teams have been doing everything they can to find what I was told was the weapon because they couldn't track it down. Now, investigators and NYPD police sources, Harris, telling Fox News that they believe they found a man who matches that same description of the gunman who killed that CEO in Midtown Manhattan. They found him at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. OK, that's like a 5-hour drive from where we are right now. We knew that the person of interest had possibly hopped on a bus and fled town. Now we're being told they believe they have that person of interest in Altoona, Pennsylvania. So we kind of talked about this earlier when I checked in with you. Person of interest, suspect, they're keeping it at person of interest right now, and they're just saying he matches the description. But not only does he match the description for people watching at home, he also, according to investigative sources who are telling Fox News, he had the weapon they believe was used in this murder in his pocket. So this is what happens, I'm told, from police, and it's still developing. But this person's at this McDonald's in Altoona. We've been putting these pictures out all across the country because it's been a nationwide manhunt. So they've been asking people, do you recognize this man in the photo? We want to talk to him. We think he was linked to this ongoing investigation. Well, somebody, Harris, said that McDonald's in Pennsylvania recognized him, called it into local police, and here we are right now. So if this ends up panning out and they are going to question this guy in Pennsylvania, we could have a huge break in this case. This comes as that CEO is having a private funeral right now in Minneapolis area where he was from. He was just in town for business where he was gunned down. Back out here live, you know, the question is, what's the motive at this time? Could it be linked to his job? Yeah, what exactly was
Alexis,
that all about?
I want to bring my team in who's with me now so we can kind of work through all of the great reporting that you've just done. A suspected assassin was located, seen, witnesses were able to make a match at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. And so, Andrew, I come to you first because he'll be extradited back to New Jersey. I don't even know if you call it that because we basically have like one state down shore, like Jersey Shore. Like as you go far south in Jersey, it is Pennsylvania. So talk to me about what happens next to him.
Well, he'll be undoubtedly extradited to New York. We have to make sure it's the right suspect, right? They have pieces right now that suggest that it's him. They're going to bring him back here, and then the prosecution begins, and that's a slow process. We can anticipate an indictment and other pieces along the way.
How impressed are you by the fact that we didn't hear much about the DNA on the bicycle, all the places that we know there would be DNA? Even if he had on gloves, he had to sit. Right. He was doing all sorts of things and leaving the backpack behind. No matter how careful you are, you're not perfect as a human being. How impressed are you that none of that really leaked into the public, none of what they were finding? And I know you don't want it to, but sometimes people find things out. Does that make this case against him stronger?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot more that we learn about what the police actually had access to that they didn't let us know about. I'm most interested to hear if there's accomplices or other people, either before the fact or after the fact, that are somehow involved. And that could be something that the FBI or the DOJ gets involved in. He may be looking at criminal prosecution both in New York as well as federally if he's committing crimes across state borders.
How does Minnesota come into play? That UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, shot in the back, assassinated outside the Hilton Convention Hotel in the middle of Manhattan. And you heard our reporter there, Alexis McAdams, saying that funeral services are getting underway. How does that state play a role?
Well, not anything directly. I think that what we have to look at is how the killer was connected potentially to the company. Is this an insider? Is this somebody who had perhaps formerly worked there? Are they connected with people who is feeding him information?
Interesting.
So that's the larger scope of what will be looked at.
That we would maybe see something from Minnesota with regard to that. All right.